the Kickback Project. I'm Javon.
I'm Bradley.
And I'm Gabe.
This is episode 10. Today's episode is titled Proud.
Hey, and for those of you guys who don't know, Proud is one of Javon's singles. That's the song that we're naming the episode off of. It's fitting.
It's an amazing song. You guys should go check it out. Spotify, SoundCloud, wherever you get your music.
XXL the rapper.
He's mad that we're promoting it.
It's a lot of plugs. But happy to be here. Let's start today's episode on a good note. Today we are celebrating Black History Month.
Woo!
We're the start of the celebration.
Yes.
It's a big thing, as you see. Gabe did not cheer. No, I'm joking.
I respectfully listened. See, I'm celebrating by not throwing my opinion of a cheer out there. I'm just listening.
That's a good job.
Wow,
You've learned.
way to clean that one up.
So, since we're celebrating Black History Month, let's talk about staples in Black pop culture. When you think about Black pop culture, what comes to mind?
Well, why not? No, you guys can go. Yeah, you guys can go first.
I legitimately, something in me just got so angry, and I was like, why would he do that? Okay, way to commit to the joke.
Okay, that was mean. Go ahead.
All right, Black Entertainment Television, also known as BET.
I did watch the BET Awards with you guys. I did that. Come on, guys. Give me a break. It was educational.
Gabe learned a lot.
I did.
That was hilarious.
Go on,
dude.
Bradley. Sorry.
It's the only television it's the only TV show dedicated to Black TV.
Mm-hmm.
And Oprah's network.
OWN.
Or Tyler
TV
Perry.
One.
I don't know what happens.
What's on OWN?
Drama
Oprah?
Greenleaf.
I do love Greenleaf.
Black people love Greenleaf.
I don't know what channel things come on because I watch them on Hulu.
It's on.
Netflix.
OWN
it's
is
on
the
OWN,
one.
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
What's the one? Queen Sugar is the one that I watched that I think is really
I heard
good.
that was good.
It is. It's amazing, and that's where Kofi Sorobi got his shine from.
Oh yeah, black guy.
Was not just any black guy.
The black guy.
the black guy, Kofi. He shines on Queen Sugar. It's a really great show. Yeah, all of these networks are the black networks.
Is Tyler Perry's part of OWN or is it separate?
Yeah, the Has and the Has Not comes on
Okay.
OWN. Isn't that a Tyler Perry one?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that and Medea's Brady Bunch. That's one of
Dude,
them.
that's not a thing.
Wait, what?
Gabe was so
I was
interested.
like,
there's a Medea show?
I know the Brady Bunch. So, a lot of people think I was in the Brady Bunch. I guess I don't know. I was just wondering because shut up. Okay. You guys don't have to laugh at my jokes this month. No, it's perfectly fine.
Wow.
We were laughing before.
We didn't need our month to come around,
Yeah, so BET. Yeah, I mean, BET has been a big part of my life. It's definitely, I would say, the channel that I probably tune in the most of any other channel. Every day, 106 in Park.
106 in Park.
Just there, Rap City, The Basement, Big Tigger. Stand up. Sorry, no,
wow.
I'm just saying. I'm old though.
Yeah,
but those were
AJ and Free were on there,
and those were real staples, in my household. Yeah.
Yep. That's those. BET also had every classic black movie played. BET was the first time I've ever seen the Leprechaun movie.
Oh my god.
Is it called The Leprechaun?
Yeah, I love
Leprechaun. Yeah.
Oh,
Leprechaun
I love those movies. Those are amazing.
Those movies are the opposite of amazing.
Yeah, no, there's a new one coming out.
What?
There's one coming out this year. I think it comes out in March. But I mean, they went off. Those movies went off the deep end.
Yeah,
They're great.
crazy. With what's the one with Tyrese? Is that Boys in the Hood?
Tyrese is not in Boys in the Hood.
What's the one Tyrese is in? Don't do that. Don't do that.
Tyrese is in a couple, so it depends on. Not obvious. You're not talking about Baby Boy.
Oh, and I am.
You're talking about the one where he walks down the beach with the horse in his hand at the end?
No, I'm talking about the one. I think I'm talking about Baby Boy.
Oh.
Who's in that?
Tyrese, Snoop Dogg, Vin Rames.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. That's like a BET.
You should know that.
What's Boys in the Hood?
Boys in the Hood is Cuba Gooding Jr.
Oh,
Ice Cube.
Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky.
When Ricky gets shot in
Good
the
old
alley.
I know the title of that movie from knowing that clip. I've never seen the movie, but I know.
Oh, well, if you've seen the clip, then you know Ricky is the worst running back of all time.
Period. Everybody says, you just need to zigzag, dude.
Literally.
He died. That's not.
It's a movie, Gabe.
Yeah, so BT
Yeah.
and the BET Awards, things like that.
Yeah. Cool.
I yes,
I
Gabe?
am gonna ask a question. I'm not gonna provide an answer. I'm gonna ask, what do you recommend to watch? I'm just, what's like, I haven't seen these movies that you guys are talking about, but what do you recommend?
In movies or just in general?
I've seen the besides besides what is out now, because I think if you look at today, like, because of the internet, a lot of things are more accessible, and like it's totally easy to access these things, and like you don't need to grow up in that context to understand like what's coming out today. I think it's more approachable because it's more accepted. What are the things that you watched as a kid that I would never watch as a kid that you recommend going back for?
Fresh Prince.
I've seen that show.
Martin.
I have not seen that show.
Actually, it's probably more important to watch Martin.
And the Jamie Foxx show.
You probably relate to Fresh Prince a little bit more because he had money. Jamie Foxx show. Yeah. You have a brother, so Wayne's Brothers.
Yeah, that was we're brother. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a. Is it high five or hug butt?
It's definitely high five. I don't know what a hug butt is.
Give me a hug, bud.
No, it's high five.
I thought you said hug butt, and I was like, what?
Wow, Gabe was watching BET Uncut.
BET After Dark.
I was just confused.
One of my favorite black movies of all time is Coming to America.
Oh, good movie.
I actually have. That was on Comedy Central a lot. That was a good one.
Because it's funny. Because
Yeah.
it's like
Hilarious.
legitimately funny. Arsenio Hall is hands down one of the best supporting actors ever.
Yeah. I would actually say, now that you bring that up, I would say go back and watch all of Eddie Murphy's old stuff.
Yeah.
Specifically his old stuff.
Because I feel like, not like to say that he's not good anymore, but I feel like today's kids and people who grew up like only know him from Shrek. Like you don't know him from like or the like low budget Netflix non theater movies he's done trying to get Oscars and stuff. But like his old, like Eddie Murphy was the truth.
Well, yeah.
Like,
Well, I knew him from stand up. And like his stand up's really good.
Yeah.
So
Is Boomerang an Eddie Murphy movie?
Yes.
Yeah. That's
great
another
movie.
one that I
Yeah.
like absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta walk away with a list.
Hey, we can give you stuff. If you want to watch cartoons, you got to watch The Proud Family,
Yeah,
I watched The Proud Family. That was
I
good.
hope you did.
The PJs.
That's a Raven back when That's a Raven.
That's a
was
Raven
like,
was great.
before Orlando Brown went off the deep end.
tragic.
If only
man,
someone on that
tragic.
show could see the future,
Oh,
You win. You win.
She grabs Orlando Brown's shoulder. She's like, "You don't want to know."
writer's room.
That was great.
That was clutch.
But I think it's unfair for us to ignore like movies that are happening now that are Black history in the making.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think
for sure.
Black Panther will forever be like I lived through that. Like
Wakanda
I'm
forever.
so blessed that I got to live through that like historical Black moment.
Yeah, it was like really crazy to see like what was going on like in theaters like across internationally, like what people were celebrating, like the fact that this movie was out and like it was for a group that doesn't get movies like that.
Yeah.
And it's like it was really cool.
I think it's also important to take a look at historic things like Hidden Figures and even like Fences, like things like that. But also important to appreciate the new like creative approach. Get Out.
Get Out was another historical moment that
Yeah.
wow. Powerful.
Yeah.
He's giving us political messages, he's giving us conversational piece, but it was still a movie. It was still a thriller. It was still like
Yeah.
I was on the edge of my seat. I remember seeing that in the theaters, just being like, wow, a Black man made this. And it was brilliant. And everybody loves it. Like, it's that powerful, you know?
Mhm.
And speaking on going forward, I think it's great to be able to see Black history, but also see where we're going, and like just looking at people like Donald Glover or Ryan Coogler, Jordan Peele. What's the guy that did Sorry to Bother You? Director Malcolm X or something.
Oh, Boots Riley, dude.
Boots Riley. I thought it was Director X. Oh no, he did
the one with
Superfly.
Trevor Jackson.
Superfly.
Yep.
Mm.
But like it's just cool to see like their artistic vision and like where they want to take things. Like it's just I'm here for it. I'm ready to see it.
I think it's cool that you brought up Donald Glover, because then we get
It's
to
my
talk
boy.
about
It's my bro.
other musicians who are also doing amazing things. I mean, when you talk about powerful Black artists, Beyonce, come on. And I mean, this woman is making history with her Coachella performance from last year. That was just like, that was another thing that I was like, wow, like I got to live through that, and I got to see that. We also got to watch that live, which was really cool. But I mean, like, Black staples in music, like, we have so many people, you know?
Yeah, and I think these people are really branching out and doing so much. Like you think of Beyonce or Rihanna, even like a Travis Scott. Like these people are like
Cardi B.
Yeah, they're just branching out into so many different things.
And they're leading the industry in like what they do. So it's like their content is so like it's innovative. It's like respect it. You need to respect it, and like that's crazy. It's
Black
just, like,
people, specifically Black women, are at like the root of most important movements.
Yeah,
you know. So hey,
and it's you can't ignore it anymore.
You can't.
I never was. But yeah, that's a good place to wrap it up. We'll come right back and move forward in our segments on this Black History Month topic. Welcome back. We just got done talking about Black pop culture, but I just want to turn it and just talk a little bit more about Black history in general. So what do you guys, what's on your brains about Black History Month, Black history?
I think I love it. Every year we get to come to this crossroads where a Black History Month exists, and people are mad. People are mad that Black History Month
you get
exists.
that. Yeah.
Let me specify. White people are upset that Black History Month exists.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing you get anytime there's like some sort of movement and it's like it's about Black culture, it's about them, and they're like, what about all people? You know, like what about all lives matter? I'm like, come on, like just back up. Like there's no need for that.
Period.
Yeah.
Like I think it's so important to recognize that while Black people are more visible in culture today and in society today, still doesn't make us the majority.
Mm-hmm.
So we still need representation, and we need to identify it in the ways that we are doing so, you know? Black History Month is important because we need a month to celebrate the achievements and the history of Black culture. You know, this is valuable. This is important because we need that visibility. White people can see themselves in the media, in popular movies. You are represented, you know? You've always been represented. But Black people, we just get 1 month. And it's the shortest month of the year that we just get to be out loud pro-Black without criticism.
Yeah.
Because any other day it's so you hate white people, that's reverse racism, which oh my god,
it's
reverse
not a thing.
racism is not a thing,
Definitely
people.
not a thing.
And fundamentally, and we can have this argument if you want to, hit me up, you know my at Black people can't be racist. And so like these are the things that we have to internalize and just kind of be like, well, we just want to celebrate us. That's all.
Yeah.
It's not, we don't want to celebrate us against somebody, which is like the Black Lives Matter movement. It's not a movement against anybody. It's just for Black people.
Yeah. And it's I think like when I think about it, about like what you said about it is physically like a month, and it's 1 month out of the year, and it's like it's great to have a focal point. Like you need that. Like you really do need these focus points to like then to start a conversation. That's how it goes forward. I would hope that this modern era, like really if you think about it in the context of things, like it's a small amount of time. I would hope that going forward, this conversation around February being Black History Month leads to further representation. You know, it's the starting point, it's the stepping stone to what happens next. And I think it's also like you think about the people that say like, oh, well, there's Black History Month, I guess racism is over. Nailed it. Like, no. like, oh, you guys want your month? Here's your month. You get a whole month. And it's
And
like,
then we don't want to hear from you for the rest of the year.
Exactly.
Not a whole month.
Not a whole month. We'll give you the leap year. Yeah, it's like, but it's like, that's not, this is just the start of a conversation that needs to happen every day with the people that you live with, you know, and live next to, you know? And I would hope that when people think about Black History Month or when they celebrate it, it's a continuation of what they do all year, you know? That's, you know, in my mind.
For starters, Bradley, I've always thought that the term reverse racism was hilarious.
Absolutely hilarious.
Not even on the point where like black people can't be racist, but just like it doesn't make sense
At all.
Like people, if a white man murders a black man, it's murder. But if a black man murders a white man, is it reverse murder?
No,
it's still murder.
Just murder.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand the phrase at all.
Yeah.
Like, is it reverse racism like equality?
Yeah. Wait,
What?
wouldn't you be trying to literally reverse racism? Like, you want to reverse it. We want to undo it.
Period. Like,
Makes no sense. But also just thinking about this whole thing is, you said, Bradley, that white people are upset about Black History Month, but you know, as a black person, I'm upset about Black History Month because it's dumb. Like, Black History Month is not dumb.
I literally,
The idea-
our
the
listeners
I-
are like,
the idea of giving
expand
us
on that, yeah.
the idea of giving us a month is dumb.
Yeah.
yes.
The idea that Black history is a separate history is
Mm.
dumb. Like,
Yeah.
what's Black history?
Because it
It's
is technically
history.
American history.
It's a
You're
part
right.
of history.
Yeah.
And the fact that you have to separate it
Mm-hmm.
only sounds worse in my mind, because
Yeah.
you're kind of trying to pretend like it's a part of history that never happened. Like, you don't want to admit the things that happen
Yeah.
in Black history, so they're different. You
Yeah.
know, they're set apart. And you know, I'm upset about that because it's history. You should learn it. And the fact that as a black kid growing up, you know, in the olden days when I did, that like literally this is something that was only taught in February in schools,
Yeah.
which makes no sense. That as a black kid, you're only taught about black people during Black History Month.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As if everything that's ever happened in Black history was done in February.
Yeah.
Which, if that were the case, we'd be amazing because we had less days.
Mm-hmm.
But it just makes no sense to
Yeah,
me.
and also that is interesting that you bring that up, because I think about like the education system, and they say like, okay, well, textbooks need to have more representation, so they always pick out like Sally Ride, the first African American astronaut. You know, it's like, or like things like that, like little names, like you know, like
Martin
but
Luther King.
exactly,
Rosa
exactly, yeah,
Parks. Yeah,
exactly, yeah.
Just little names.
Just little names, but just little names. But that's not my problem. Is what they did. My problem isn't what they did. Like, that's awesome.
Right.
But it says you're only historically significant if you provided value to our world. You know, you only are cool because you invented peanut butter or you invented the cotton gin.
He
It's
is
like,
cool for that.
He is cool for that. I like peanut butter. But that's the thing, is like, people are people. They are valued because they
Right.
live. They're not valuable. Like, they only like, or also I think that this unfortunately is revealed in like the music industry and entertainment. It's like, oh, well, I like this black director because, not because he's a director, not because he's a person. It's because he makes good movies. It's like, oh, you provided your value. You prove that you have value. You entertain us. Come into the circle. You know, it's like, it shouldn't be that way. And it shouldn't be separate, like you said.
Yeah.
It should be cohesive. You
I
know?
think
It
you
should-
guys are definitely checking something so important in our society, is that people are performance activists. They only do things to perform for others, to show, oh, I'm woke. You bring up a really great point, both of you do, about education and the way that we educate children
Oh, yeah.
about important black figures in history. That we do condense this history into a month, and teachers think they're doing something when they're like, you know, I gave you Black History Month during
Yep.
I gave you Black History during Black History Month.
Yeah.
What more do you want from me? And it's like, Black history is American history. I need to be learning about this all year long.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know how black people, and not just black people, but other minorities, how did they play a part in the building up of the society
Yeah.
that we live in today?
Yeah.
What were their roles that they played. That should be taught year round.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put up a picture of Martin Luther King on February 1st just to take it down February 28th and say that
Yeah.
you did something.
Yeah.
And this goes back to the conversation we had in the past about equality. Like we're not asking for white people to be taken out of history books
At all.
Like, just put us in.
Yeah, it just would, it would provide, honestly, it would provide the next generation with a fuller idea of what happened in the world, because that's truth. Like, I would rather be educated on the truth and let the next generation decide what they want to do with that, and not be embarrassed about it. Like, well, honestly, it's white people that wrote the textbooks, and it's white people that did the things that were wrong.
It's white people that are still writing.
That are still writing textbooks actively.
Your
Yeah,
2019 version
write.
of your textbook
So yeah, but I mean,
was written in Texas by a white person who believes that America's never wrong. So.
I mean, and then the textbooks are never updated, so
Yeah.
but it's fine. But it's like, that isn't what was I saying? That isn't enough, basically. Like, you guys want this like symbolic representation, and you don't know the truth. And so a generation is rising up that is educated on this falsehood. And so we're never going to change because you're perpetuating it, you know?
It shouldn't be this way, but I'm just hoping that with all the backlash over the last couple of years about, like, you know, Christopher Columbus and all these people who are glorified in our textbooks who really were horrible people.
Horrible.
I'm hoping that, you know, with all this tearing down statues and stuff, that this also takes certain people out of history books and puts people who should be in there in there. Which, like I said, it shouldn't be the case.
Or at the very least, reframes them in the light that they need to be.
Yeah.
Like Gabe said, give us the truth.
Yeah. And we'll go from there. Like, the generation, you give them the truth, and then they'll decide. And we got to hope that they make the right decision, basically. And I mean, it's also like, sometimes I would encounter things that I learned from interacting with other cultures, and it was news to me. And I was like, you recognize your ignorance, and you got to humble yourself to say, I didn't know that. And going forward, we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to understand that. You know, I'm going to ask you good questions, and I'm just going to listen. Just don't jump in with your opinion. Just ask the question and listen for the answer, because they know better. You know, that person that experienced it knows better than you do, basically. So.
Yeah. Hashtag Black History Year. We're gonna take a quick break, and then, you know, we're gonna come back and look back at it and move forward with what we're bringing to the Kickback. Welcome back. It's been a good episode. We've been talking about Black History Month, or Black History in general, and lack thereof. And we're just gonna take a look back at it real quick. And I just want to know, what do you think about this whole thing? What's on your mind?
Can I go first?
Yeah.
We will allow it.
With your permission. Looking back at this topic, Black History Month, I guess I'll just speak to the people that are members of majority cultures that maybe feel like they don't know enough, or feel like they have some privilege that they're not acknowledging. I will just say, there is a thing you should do. There's a phrase that I kind of try to live out, and it's seek to understand. Ask the questions, you know, be humble and get the answers to understand what you don't know. Seek it. You need to pursue it. You need to ask questions. And sometimes the understanding is not favorable to you. It's not favorable to your grandparents. You need to understand that. And alongside that, once you have the understanding, follow that truth and speak it to the people that don't understand it, basically.
So I'm talking about, Gabe.
That was powerful.
Holding white people accountable.
Yes. Make us proud, Gabe.
For me, you know, when it comes to Black history, I just think about celebrating. You know, I'm Black and I'm proud, and I say it loud. But I just, you know, it's
you a
sometimes,
rapper?
but you know, we are only given 28-ish days to celebrate this, and you know, and I could be upset that I'm not given more, and I'm not happy about it. But I'm going to choose to love that and celebrate the people who have done amazing things and the people who are still doing amazing things. So, you know, it's February, Black History Month. Go do hood rat things with your friends. Live it up.
All right.
Celebrate.
As I'm looking back at it and I'm hearing the things you guys are saying about accountability and celebration, I think this is the perfect time in society when the spotlight is on Black people and on Black culture, that we don't just celebrate the historical figures, but we also celebrate the people who we know are a part of Black history, who are making Black history in the now, right? We celebrate our Black kids who are creating new movements and creating new dance crazes, creating new social media content, because that's Black history. You know, we get to celebrate them, that we celebrate our celebrities and our idols and icons who are in the media today and the Black history that they're creating. We have a spotlight, we have a platform, and so the same way that we want athletes and actors and politicians to utilize their platform to bring light to serious issues, we need to take this time to use our platform to celebrate Black culture in its full capacity. And so I think that's the heart behind Black History Month, and that's what I'm looking forward to doing this month.
Nice.
I love it. So, you know what time it is. What are you bringing to the kickback?
Ooh.
Let's start with Bradley. We've been letting Gabe start too much today.
Yeah, way too much. Okay, so I think I have the most we're gonna try and make it lighthearted, but I was mad when I saw it. We're gonna talk about the video of the group of Make America Great Again hat kids that interrupted the man from the Native March.
It was like
Native Land March. Is that what it's called?
They were like, well, so what happens if you haven't seen it is like the Native American group is performing a tribal song, and they're just playing, you know, like instruments. And this kid in a MAGA hat who's like 14 or 15 comes up and just kind of like stands in his face really close to him and like smirks, like the thing where you like an annoying kid wants you to like hit them or push them, and they're just like, oh, look at me, I'm gonna stand in your face. And it's like
Stuffy with annoying kids.
And the rest of the group of the kids are surrounding him, mocking him, like just kind of harassing this man as he's playing his drum and chanting his native language, things like that.
And chanting "Build the Wall" at a Native American.
At a Native American.
So
who
think about the math on that one. I don't geographically the wall.
It's an inner wall directly in the middle of America.
Build that secondary wall.
Border control, but between the states.
The
That's what it is. It's the Maze Runner.
I think the kid was in Maze Runner.
Probably. But I think it upset me, not because, trust me, I've had my fair share of privileged young white boys, even when I was their age, who were doing the exact same thing. I mean, this is not a new concept, but it's the concept that they feel so empowered and so entitled by Donald Trump and by like where we are in society, that they've taken this. They now have a national platform to show their ignorance. And there's been further investigation into who the boy is, where he's from. And there's even been stories. He's from some Catholic school. But they like the Catholic school has made a statement saying that they don't support his behavior. There's been a lot of people saying that school in general has a lot of issues with racism, sexism, prejudice, homophobia, things like that. So they have their own issues to work out. But there have also been news stories that come out in defense of the kids, saying that they were previously harassed by a group of black men. That like this is a thing.
There's no video of it, but you gotta believe
no video of that. But like now it's the Native American man was stepping in to defuse a previous situation, and these kids were provoked, and it's like, we've had evidence that these white children were just being flat out racist, and now all of a sudden there are stories coming out that they were provoked. This is just they can't be held accountable. They're just kids. We need to protect kids. We need to respect kids. And it's like when we're screaming for the protection and the respect for black youth, we're told we're being too extreme.
And the kids from the like David Hogg, like these younger kids that got involved because of a school shooting at their high school. And they were on the other side of the aisle, and they're like, "Oh, your kid's opinion doesn't matter." But as soon as
kids
one
don't know
kid,
what they're talking about, kids, and then all of a sudden it's kids are innocent and kids are pure and they shouldn't be held accountable for what they say. And So it's a little frustrating, but it's also absolutely hilarious that it's these kids. Like, this is such a stereotypical, like, when you think of your, like, some 50-year-old MAGA hat child.
If I'm a kid who's about to graduate high school and I'm looking at colleges, if I'm doing that, if there's a camera out, why wouldn't you just stop? You know what cameras do. Like, you're not going to college.
But that just speaks to, like, how empowered they feel, you know?
Seriously.
This world is just so full of hate, and not even just hate. It's so full of stupidity.
Yeah.
Like, this is all just dumb. And here's the funny thing to me is you said that this kid was like reacting to something that a black person did or something, but then went to someone who wasn't black.
It just doesn't make
just
sense.
to show hate.
Yeah.
And then what's crazy is that it's the total opposite of what happens to black people. When like a black kid is like shot by the cops or wrongfully killed, you know, the parents mourning, everybody's mourning, and then all of a sudden videos and pictures of oh, this kid used to be in gangs or whatever
like
pop
a
up.
picture
but
of him
in this
with
case,
a hoodie on.
this kid's a saint. Look at this picture of him at youth group. Like, this is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it also just shows me like how much of a coward you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're doing this to look cool and stand out, but like, if this really did happen because of what a black person did to you, obviously you didn't have the heart to go stand up to a group of black people.
No, you found an old guy playing a drum.
Who obviously is like he's not there for that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They still found a way to demonize black people in this neighborhood.
Yeah, seriously.
That's the crazy thing. What I will say was, what I thought was like wild about this video was that if you look in the crowd of boys, there are boys in white "Make America Great Again" hats, and so they're evolving people.
Oh,
they're
Oh my
they're
goodness.
upping their fashion.
The MAGA hype beast culture.
The MAGA Supreme Collection.
This is
MAGA
ridiculous.
X Supreme dropping.
Wow.
All right. Thanks for bringing that. Now we're all angry.
Yeah. Now I like want to go fight
Yeah.
Gabe.
Okay, Gabe, what are you bringing to the kickback? Let's get a lighter note.
Well, this new red hat I got really good.
Wow.
Now I want to bring some fresh content. Just dropped the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer came out. It has Tom Holland being Tom Holland doing things. Got Nick Fury's in it. I mean, you need to check out this trailer. It's awesome.
Which makes me nervous because, like, where's Tony Stark?
Yeah, where's Tony Stark? And like, they have confirmed that it's after Avengers Endgame.
They confirmed it's a couple minutes after Avengers.
Yeah, so
Endgame.
it's going down.
Yeah,
We got
it's so confusing.
You got what's his face as Mysterio.
Jake
Gyllenhaal.
No
He-
mask because you
No
gotta show the
mask.
face.
Well, they had the
No,
mask.
they had the
the
mask,
mask
the
when he was
fishbowl,
flying
but
around.
I'm
yeah.
sure he
So-
will have that mask off a lot.
But
Yeah.
nobody knew who he was.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you know the Mysterio storyline, you know that character. I'm really excited to see
Yeah,
that.
he's
Me
one of my
too.
favorite
It'd
Spider-Man
be
bad guys.
sick. Yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to that movie. I can't wait.
What's crazy to me is that this Tom Holland Spider-Man, like the new Spider-Mans, are so like child friendly and like
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
And like I just feel like Nick Fury can come and make anything dark.
Yeah, he
And
shows
evil.
up. Yeah, he
Like,
shows
and not
up.
that he's a bad guy, but it's just like you're like, oh, Tom Holland, I'm ready to party, ready
Yeah.
to Spider-Man as a kid, and then
Yeah.
just shoots his friend in the neck. Peter Parker. I'm like, what is? He's so dark.
It's got to be the eye patch. You really cannot do anything gentle with an eye patch.
It's crazy how good his aim is, even though he has one eye.
It would be funny if how many tries that took. He like shoots like all the way past.
I'm excited to see them explore Zendaya as Mary Jane
Yeah, that's be
or
cool.
as MJ because her name's Michelle. Like,
Yeah.
it's weird, but I'm excited for that. I'm excited to find out who the elementals are because there's a lot of speculation.
I've heard they changed a bit too.
Yeah, that's what. So I'm excited to see that storyline play out. Just excited overall. What I do know is Samuel L. Jackson is collecting his check from Marvel.
Oh yeah, man.
He's going to be in Spider-Man. He's going to be in Captain Marvel. He's obviously going to be in Avengers. He's getting his money. I'm here for
Good
it.
for him.
So I think the real question is, Samuel L. Jackson, what's in your wallet?
Period. Wow.
I try.
Wow. Joke of the week. You listen to Kickback Project.
So, I have to bring this to the Kickback. It's probably the biggest thing in the world right now. The Super Bowl. The biggest game. A matchup of the greatest teams.
And Bradley has all his football. Bradley has all his football fandom ready to go.
So, what do you guys think about the Super Bowl? There's so much surrounding it. First of all, who's gonna win? Rams or Patriots? Patriots, yeah.
I hate to say it.
Yeah, no one likes the Patriots, but you
I
don't
really
give them the situation.
I didn't want to watch another Patriots Super Bowl. I
'Cause they win all the
definitely
time?
don't want to watch them win. And I think the Rams are a dynamic team. They're fun to watch.
All
so I'm
they
going
do
Rams.
is win, no matter what.
I'm going for Rams. I'll be the different one. I'll say Rams. I think they can pull it off.
I heard
mean,
that
come
this
on.
year somehow I
The
don't understand.
Eagles did it.
I don't understand, but somehow the Patriots are an underdog, which in Super Bowl history just doesn't make sense to me. So my money will be going to the Patriots.
Keep it. I don't have
If the
time.
Patriots are an underdog, that's a payout
Yeah.
I'm willing to take.
I will be watching. I'm gonna check it out. You know, I like Super Bowl parties. You know, I'm down.
Oh,
for
I
it.
like Super Bowl parties for the food.
Yep.
If
food.
you're hosting a Super Bowl party, if there's going to be buffalo chicken dip there, you know my send me the invite.
I look how there's two levels. Two levels this episode.
If you got
wanna
a problem
argue?
with this, here's my app. But if you got food,
If you got buffalo chicken dip, let's have a different at conversation.
I am a firm believer in at me for anything. So
Positive or negative.
yeah,
it's-
positive or negative.
so really quick, let's talk about the most controversial thing about the Super Bowl, which is not the Patriots. It's the Super Bowl halftime show.
People are dropping out. They're asking.
First of all, let's just talk about how we're having the Super Bowl in Atlanta, and we have and this is Atlanta. This is Atlanta.
Yeah.
And
The
our
hood.
performer is Maroon 5.
It's Maroon 5.
No
I think-
shade to Maroon 5.
I think Big Boy dropped out.
That's
They
not what
asked
we're
him.
trying to say.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
because he's well, I didn't read anything,
Who
but
asked
he's
Big Boy?
Maroon 5 is Big Boy's allegedly supposed to be performing with them.
I thought he was either rumored or he dropped out. He was one of the people. They asked Jay-Z.
I thought you were saying
Yeah.
like the Super Bowl asked the Big Boy to headline, and I was like, who is
well,
ever?
I mean, it's Atlanta, so they would.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ask
it
like
would
those
make sense,
people.
but not Big Boy without
Oh, man.
Andre 3000,
Yeah.
because then that would just be problematic.
yes.
Childish Gambino Super Bowl. That'd be crazy.
I don't know if he could do it.
Amazing.
It wouldn't be.
It would set a whole different
Yeah.
tone for the
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Donald
Yeah.
Glover's like such a niche
Right.
market. Like it's
Yeah.
not. That's not an all.
Tom Brady would come out the halftime with a pea coat and waves. It would just be so soulful.
But yeah, Rihanna was asked, she turned it down. Cardi was asked, she turned it down. Jay-Z was like begged, he turned it down and rapped about it. So beautiful.
But here's
Yeah.
something I heard, and I don't know if it's true, but I heard that Travis Scott said yes. But I heard that he
will be
went
performing.
and talked to Colin Kaepernick and asked for Kaepernick's blessing.
Oh.
And Kaepernick gave it, so he did it. But then I heard
That
That didn't happen.
And
Yeah,
that's
I heard it was a label based thing that all the artists that were ended up saying yes are on the same label. So it's just like coming down from the top basically that they have to do it.
there was a huge thing on social media where like an article came out that said that Travis talked to Colin and Colin said okay, but then everybody was like, oh, I know Colin Kaepernick personally, he would never agree to this, or oh, like this conversation never happened, you're just doing this for clout.
Yeah.
And Travis Scott came out and said that he talked to the NFL and said that regardless, like if I do this for you guys, you need to donate money to a charity of my choice. And so that's also allegedly
Oh
happened.
yeah,
is
I
that
heard about that too.
He brokered a deal with the NFL that you know
yeah.
they're going to donate to this charity. But for me, it's all cover up for, dude, you went against a belief of
Yeah.
yours. You're being called out for it, and now there's just all this like
Yeah.
cover
Yeah.
up, you know?
It sucks. But I also feel like there's gonna be backlash if he does it and all this stuff. But at the same time, there were so many people who said they were against the NFL for everything that was happening, but they all been watching
Yeah.
faithfully every Sunday.
I have not,
and
Yeah.
so
strictly because I just lost
it's such
interest.
a huge force. It's hard to fight against it. Like it's the NFL, man. Like they own
Yeah.
a day of the week. Like how do you even?
There
go
are
against-
multiple days of the
So
week.
Yeah, it's
my
crazy.
thing is like if you were against it and you kept watching, can you be against someone going to go get their bag?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big bag.
I mean, yeah.
Meek said Travis didn't need the bet.
He probably doesn't, but why
so
not
I
get
guess
more?
the question of the week is, Travis, what's in your wallet?
It's lit.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what plays out. Travis Scott and Tom Brady, dynamic duo.
Is Travis Scott playing in the Super Bowl or is he performing in the Super Bowl?
might as
Tom
well.
Brady's like, it's
The,
lit.
the Super Bowl.
Oh my
Super Bowl
God.
location has
Oh
changed.
my
The Super
God.
Bowl will now take place in Astro World. We'll see. But yeah. Anyway, great episode, guys. Thank you for listening. Thanks for kicking it with us.